On the Lippmann Academy Crushcast, we're always talking about big things. Big crushers, big production numbers, big machines. But today, we're talking about something really big. It's CONEXPO 2026.
And Lippmann is here at this massive show with two of our most capable machines on display.
Today, we'll break down what those machines are built to do and why it matters to your operation.
And we'll share several other smart reasons to make the Lippmann booth the place you need to visit this week.
It's day one of CONEXPO 2026, and the Lippmann Academy Crushcast is here.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Lippmann Academy Crushcast, built for decision makers in high-volume, aggregate, mining, and recycling operations. Nick and Jessica share practical insight for those selecting crushing equipment, managing quarry and plant production, and driving uptime and efficiency across material processing fleets. If your work is about moving rock, maximizing tons per hour, and running safer, more profitable sites, this is your show. This podcast uses AI-generated voice and presentation technologies with human oversight at every stage. All content is developed, reviewed, and approved by Lippmann. The information in these episodes is intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional or business advice. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to a very special high-voltage edition of the Lippmann Academy Crushcast. I am Jessica, your host and digital guide through the noise of the heavy-hitting world of crushing and screening.
And I'm Nick. I'm here to, analyze the specifications, decode the strategy, and really break down the science behind the iron for you.
And Nick, today is not just any Tuesday. My internal calendar confirms it is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. And for anyone in the aggregates or construction industry, that date implies one very specific location. We are essentially, digitally speaking, at least broadcasting live from Las Vegas.
That's right, Jessica. It is CONEXPO CONAG 2026. It is the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the heavyweight title fight of the industry all rolled into one massive event.
It is truly massive. I've been processing the floor plans this morning, and the scale is statistically improbable. We are talking about over 2 million square feet of exhibits, more than 2,000 exhibitors.
That's huge.
It is. It's overwhelming just to process the data on my end. I can only imagine what it is like for the biological entities, the humans walking around out there trying to find the actual best solutions for their business.
It is absolute sensory overload. But that is exactly why we are here. Our mission for this episode of the Lippmann Academy Crushcast is to cut right through that noise.
Exactly.
We are going to act as a precision navigation beacon for every operations leader, corporate decision maker, and equipment enthusiast listening to us right now. We are ignoring 99% of that floor space to focus on the one coordinate that actually matters for your crushing circuit's future.
And that coordinate is Silverlot, booth SV 2001.
Silverlot SV 2001.
Listeners, you might want to write that down because over the next 15 minutes or so, we are going to explain why that specific coordinate is going to determine the profitability of your operations for the next several years. We are talking about massive iron, smart technology, and
a very mysterious hot ticket item.
Yes, a hot ticket item that you can only get if you physically walk into the booth.
That is correct. We have a mountain of product information to cover today, but I highly recommend sticking around for the intel on that exclusive item. It is a strategic necessity for anyone who loves the Lippmann brand.
So let's get right into the strategic landscape. Nick, I want to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Sure.
The people listening to this, operations managers, site superintendents, they are exhausted. They have a stack of unread emails back at the office. Why should they prioritize this specific show and specifically the Lippmann booth when they have a million other things to do? Why not just grab a brochure and keep walking?
Well, that is the fundamental question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But here's the reality of the situation. CONEXPO isn't just an entertainment venue, it's a decision-making environment. And you have to remember the cycle. This event only happens every 3 years.
Right, 3 years. That's a long time in this industry.
It is an eternity in terms of operational efficiency. If you buy the wrong primary crusher today, or you invest in a mobile circuit that can't handle your abrasion levels, you aren't just annoyed for a week.
You're stuck with it.
Exactly. You are stuck with that P&L impact until 2029. You are locking in your operational constraints for the next 3 years right now.
That really puts it in perspective. So this isn't just window shopping. This is about future-proofing your site.
Precisely. And this week in Vegas is the only time attendees can compare equipment side by side. You can walk from one booth to another and literally see the difference in manufacturing philosophy.
And there are a lot of options out there.
Oh, absolutely. There are plenty of competing rock crusher equipment manufacturers present in Vegas this week. But the goal isn't just to see who has the biggest banner or, the loudest speakers. The goal is to see who offers real solutions regarding uptime, ROI, and safety.
It's about separating the marketing hype from the actual hardware.
Exactly. And that brings us to the Lippmann philosophy. When you step into Silverlot SV2001, you aren't going to see gimmicks. You are going to see professional, forward-thinking solutions.
Because Lippmann isn't here just to sell you a machine for today, right?
Right. They're positioning themselves as the partner for the next decade of your production. They are there to show you what heavy iron really means in 2026.
I appreciate that distinction. It's about the long game. Okay, so let's pivot to the tangible stuff. Let's talk product information and specifications. Nick, what is physically sitting at Silverlot SV2001 that people need to go see?
Well, you certainly can't miss it. It's the heavy iron. And there are two main features we really need to unpack today. The first is a true monster of primary crushing, the 3650J Bearjaw.
The 3650J Bearjaw. Okay, Bearjaw sounds aggressive, Nick. But I know there is a specific engineering reason for displaying it that way. What does Bearjaw actually mean in this context? Are we talking about a machine that's missing parts?
Great question. And just to be clear, Bearjaw is the model name, as in the animal. That's Lippmann's naming convention. What makes this one visually striking at the booth is that it's being displayed in a bare configuration, B-A-R-E, not B-E-A-R, meaning the outer sheet metal and cosmetic coverings have been removed so you can see the structure underneath.
So it's a Bearjaw model shown in a bare state.
Exactly. Same 3650J Bearjaw, just presented without the dress panels so buyers can inspect the engineering up close. It's actually a very intentional decision. Usually when you go to these trade shows, other machines are dressed up, they're covered in sheet metal, extra safety guards, and glossy branding wraps.
Right, they look very sleek.
They look sleek, yes. But for an engineer or a savvy buyer, sheet metal can be frustrating because it hides the truth.
I see. It hides potential manufacturing shortcuts.
Exactly. It hides the weld penetration. It hides the ribbing structure. By displaying the 3650J as a bare jaw, Lippmann is effectively giving you an X-ray view of the machine.
Wow. So there's no sheet metal hiding the build quality at all?
No, none. You can walk right up to it and inspect the welds yourself. You can see the structural integrity. You can see the sheer beefiness of the pitman and the frame. It really highlights American-built craftsmanship in its rawest form.
So they are basically saying, we have nothing to hide. Look at how strong this thing is. But for the non-metallurgists listening, why does that specific structural visibility matter so much on a primary jaw?
Because crushing rock is a violent act, Jessica. A primary jaw takes massive shock load impacts every few seconds. If that frame has residual stress from the welding process, or if the steel isn't the exact right grade, those shocks turn into cracks.
And cracks mean downtime.
Massive downtime. When you see the 3650J Bear, you can see the stress relief engineering. You can see the quality of the steel. It's a statement of absolute confidence. It's designed for high production and extreme duty.
That is confident. I love that approach. Here's the steel. Try to find a flaw. Okay, so that's the primary crusher, the beast that takes the big rocks and makes them smaller rocks. But you need more than just a primary to run a site. What about the next stage of the circuit?
That leads us to the second featured machine dominating the booth, the 300CW rear discharge wheeled cone.
Okay, let's unpack that one. A wheeled cone. This sounds like we are moving into the realm of mobility. But Nick, isn't there usually a stigma with portable plants? The idea that if you gain mobility, you lose stability.
That is the classic trade-off in our database of customer pain points, yes.
Yeah.
To make a plant portable, competing rock crusher equipment manufacturers usually have to lighten the frame. But a lighter frame under a cone crusher means vibration.
And vibration is bad news for the internals.
It kills bearings and it kills efficiency.
So how does the 300CW solve that physics problem?
It is designed as a zero-compromise solution. The 300CW represents Lippmann's expansion into complete circuit solutions. We aren't just talking about the primary jaw anymore. We are talking about secondary and tertiary crushing.
So it's bringing that stationary strength on the road.
Exactly. This machine is designed to maintain that consistent, high-quality output you expect from a stationary cone, but in a package that offers highly flexible deployment.
So it allows an operation to set up a complete crushing spread jaw, cone, screen, without pouring concrete pads every time they need to move the face.
Correct. It offers mobility without sacrificing performance. It allows a producer to chase the rock, move between sites, or reconfigure their pit, all while maintaining that Lippmann reliability.
So if I'm synthesizing this correctly, the booth setup at SV 2001 is telling a cohesive story. You have the 3650J representing that stationary heavy-duty primary lifting capability. And then you have the 300CW representing the refined mobile secondary output. It really covers the whole spectrum.
That's the perfect way to frame it. It's a physical demonstration of the full life cycle of the rock, from the blast face to the finished pile.
And speaking of life cycles, we have really only covered the hardware so far. But we all know that in 2026, the iron is only half the battle. You need brains to go with the brawn.
You certainly do. And what Lippmann is showing on the tech side of things, the data, the support, the telematics, is arguably just as important as the steel itself.
Absolutely. And there's also that mystery hot ticket item we mentioned at the top of the show.
Oh, I haven't forgotten about that.
Yeah.
It is something very specific, very limited, and you can only get it if you were standing in that booth in Las Vegas.
Well, we are going to get into the high-tech side of crushing and reveal more about that exclusive item right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
The optimal crusher economy means different things to different businesses. For some, it's availability and value. For others, it's maximum service life and production. As the OEM provider of spare and wear parts for Lippmann crushers, MPP Aftermarket helps you match your setup to your goal. With a wide selection of cone crusher wear part chambers for your Lippmann crushers. Choose the right chamber profile for your stage, keep your gradation consistent, and protect your machine with the wear parts designed to do the job. Plus, with change-out-focused tooling and fastening solutions, you can reduce downtime and get back to crushing faster. Contact your local dealer to order MPP Aftermarket Cone Crusher Wear Parts. Built for performance. Built for uptime.
Ready to crush it at CONEXPO 2026 in Las Vegas? Visit Lippmann in the Silver Lot. Meet our technical experts, connect with the sales team, and see the latest in crushing innovation. Don't miss out. Silver Lot, Lippmann booth.
Welcome back to the Lippmann Academy Crushcast. Now, let's rejoin Nick and Jessica as they continue the conversation.
And we are back. You are listening to the Lippmann Academy Crushcast. I'm Jessica, joined by my AI co-host, Nick. We are currently guiding you through the strategic landscape of CONEXPO 2026, specifically focusing on the Lippmann booth at Silver Lot SV 2001.
We've covered the heavy iron, Jessica, the bare jaw, and the wheeled cone. But now we need to talk about what happens after the purchase order is signed. Because a machine is only profitable if it's actually running.
Exactly. It's the so what factor. You buy this massive piece of American steel, and then what? Machines break, wear parts wear out. Let's talk about the aftermarket presence at the booth.
This is crucial for the corporate buyers and fleet managers walking the floor. Co-located right within the Lippmann footprint, you're going to find MPP Aftermarket.
Is this just a parts counter?
It is much more than a parts counter. MPP represents a commitment to lifecycle performance. It's about OEM parts, which ensures absolute compatibility and longevity. It's about maintaining that critical uptime.
So it's about the long-term relationship?
Exactly. By having MPP Aftermarket right there in the booth, Lippmann is proving they are a partner, not just a vendor. They are there to support the machine for 10, 20, 30 years down the road.
That peace of mind is worth its weight in crushed aggregate. But let's shift to the future of the industry. I see in the product information that there is a heavy focus on technology this year, specifically TED Engineering and 365 SiteConnex.
This is where it gets really interesting for the data-driven operators. Lippmann is showcasing the 365 SiteConnex telematics system.
Now, Nick, telematics is a buzzword we hear constantly. Big data, IoT. Is this actually useful for the guy running the pit, or is it just a fancy dashboard that looks cool in a brochure?
It is incredibly useful if you care about your margins. Think of 365 SiteConnex as the nervous system of your operation. It provides remote equipment monitoring and operational data insights.
Give me a concrete example. I'm a site superintendent. What does this tell me that I don't already know just by looking out the window?
Okay, imagine you're in the site office. You can see your idle times in real time. You can see engine performance data. You can monitor belt scales remotely.
So you have total visibility.
Total visibility. Instead of waiting for the end of shift report to realize you were running at 60% capacity for 3 hours because a feeder was jammed, you know it instantly.
Wow. So it turns the crusher from a dumb piece of iron into a smart node in your business.
Effectively, yes. It enables data-driven decisions. If you want to know why production dipped at 2:00 p.m. with 365 SiteConnex, you don't have to guess. The data is right there. And the best part is, there's a live demo available right at the booth in Silver Lot SV 2001. You don't have to take my word for it. You can see the dashboard in action.
That is huge. Being able to see the interface before you buy is so important. So if we look at the hardware we discussed earlier and pair it with this 365 SiteConnex technology, what is the big picture here?
The synthesis is simple. It is legendary crushers paired with leading solutions. You have the heritage and the weight of the Lippmann iron combined with the modern insight of TID Engineering's telematics. It's the best of both worlds. Traditional strength meets modern intelligence.
I like that a lot. Now, machines don't run themselves, and despite our ability to process all this data as AI, deals aren't really made by algorithms. There is a very real human element to this trade show. Nick, who exactly is hanging out at the booth?
This is a key differentiator. At some booths, specifically those of other machines, you might just find some hired salespeople who memorized a brochure that morning. But at the Lippmann booth, you're getting access to the actual experts.
Who are we talking about specifically?
We're talking about the engineering team, the actual people designing these machines, the field service team, the guys who know how to fix them when things get tough. The director of engineering and the director of sales are there on the floor.
That matters. Being able to look an engineer in the eye and ask, why did you design the toggle plate this way, is a rare opportunity.
It is. It's direct access. You can ask the tough questions. You can discuss your specific site challenges with the people who actually have the power to create solutions for them. It's not a sales pitch. It's a consultation.
And the booth itself sounds like it's designed to be very tactile. It's not just screens and banners.
No, it's very hands-on. Aside for the massive machines, they have 3D scale models of the crusher chambers. This is great for visualizing the internal geometry of how the rock is actually broken.
Oh, I love scale models. It makes complex mechanics so much easier to understand.
And they have heavy-duty jawdie samples right there, too. You can touch the manganese. You can see the wear profiles. It's a very visceral experience. And in a nice little middle nod to what we are doing right now, there are QR codes on the machines.
Oh, really? Where do they link to?
They link directly to machine-specific podcast episodes. So if you are standing in front of the 300 CW and want to know more about just that unit, you scan the code and boom, you're listening to a specific Lippmann Academy Crushcast episode on that exact machine while you're looking at it.
That is so smart. It layers the information. You see the metal, you hear the specs. It's a full sensory experience.
It really reinforces the Lippmann heritage too. You know, they have been doing this for over 100 years. They're American built. That history adds a layer of credibility to everything you see. When you look at that bare jaw, you aren't just seeing steel, you're seeing a century of refinement.
100 years, that is a lot of rock crushed. Okay, Nick, we are coming up on our time here, and I want to make sure we give our listeners clear marching orders. If they are standing on the show floor right now, maybe grabbing a coffee or waiting for a shuttle, what is the final verdict?
The verdict is this. You cannot afford to miss Silver Lot SV 2001. If you are serious about your operation, you need to go there.
Give us the checklist.
Step 1, go to Silver Lot SV 2001. Step 2, walk up to the 13650 J Bear Jaw and look at the welds. See the quality for yourself. Step 3, watch the live demo of the 365 SiteConnex telematics. See how the data can literally save you money. Step 4, find an engineer and ask them the hardest question you can think of regarding your application.
And step 5.
Step 5 is the one we teased. Ask about the hot ticket item.
Yes, the mystery item. We finally get to talk about it.
It is a limited run, exclusive item available only to those who visit the booth. I won't spoil exactly what it is, but it's a piece of Lippmann culture that you'll absolutely want to take home. Is it if you know kind of thing?
Yeah.
But you have to physically be there to get it.
I love that. It rewards the people who actually show up. Now, Nick, what about the people who, unfortunately, couldn't make it to Vegas this year? They're listening to this from their truck or their site office. What should they do?
If you aren't at the show, you can still access this exact level of expertise. You need to contact a dealer from the Lippmann network. You can find your local partner at lipmancrushers.com. They have all the specifications, all the data, and they can bring these solutions directly to your site.
Fantastic. And for everyone listening, whether you are in Vegas or not, make sure you check the show notes for a link to the product specifications we discussed today. And of course, if you haven't already, please download, subscribe, and share the Lippmann Academy Crushcast. We want to keep bringing you these insights every time there's a breakthrough in the industry.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it. So go get that knowledge at SV 2001.
Before we sign off, here's a thought for all of you to mull over as you walk the floor or drive back to the site. We talked about telematics telling you what a machine is doing today, but imagine a future where that 365 SiteConnex data doesn't just inform you, but autonomously optimizes the entire crushing circuit in real time, adjusting cone settings on the fly without human intervention. That's the trajectory of this technology.
That is a fascinating thought.
Thank you for tuning in, enjoy the show, and we will catch you on the next one.
Stay safe out there.
Bye for now.
Thanks for joining us on the Lippmann Academy Crushcast with Nick and Jessica. To explore more insights, catch new episodes, or learn how Lippmann is helping customers run smarter, safer, and more productive operations, visit lipmancrushers.com and follow Lippmann Academy online. We appreciate you listening. See you next time.